Everyone's excited about Colorado's offense right now, but there's one position group on defense that a lot of you have been raising concerns about. And if that does not improve, we might be looking at a lot of the same issues we saw last year. What's good, Buffs Nation? It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some dope content to react to. So run up the skull by hitting the like and subscribe button. And let's get to 1,000 subscribers ASAP. And drop a comment right now. Do you think the defensive line is a real concern this season? Today, we are breaking down the interior defensive line. And after going through the film, I saw some flashes, but I also saw some real concerns that could show up, especially in big moments. We're going to go through 5 plays, show you what's working, what's not, and what it means for this Colorado defense this season. Because at the end of the day, if you cannot control the trenches, you can't control the game. And right now, the film says interior defensive line is still a question mark. So let's get into this very first clip. And I love it because it's a great example of a chess match that's going on between Brennan Marion and Chris Marve. Now, we know Chris Marve loves to bring pressure. So this is what I'm seeing in terms of the first group that goes out as part of this defensive line rotation. You got Balansama Kamara, Santana Hopper. You got Dylan Manuel. I didn't really see Ezra Christensen during this practice, so it seems like Dylan Manuel is being paired with Santana Hopper here to start. Now, the reason why I included this play is because Chris Marve is bringing pressure from the edge. This is a great read by Isaac Wilson to throw the ball where the pressure is coming from and find Q for 6 on a quick slant. Now, I'm including this clip not because it's just an initial analysis of great D-line play or poor D-line play. It's an analysis of how the personnel is being used situationally, because on the next play, I'm going to show you guys something that some of you have been saying that Chris Marve is going to do or try to do during this season. All right. So he finds Q on the slant. Now watch the personnel here. It seems like it's the very next play. They're bringing out the next group. You're gonna see Juju Lewis at quarterback, but watch this defensive line personnel that he lines up here. All right, to the outside you have Toby Anene. You got Manny Eziogu standing up here on the interior. You got Tyler Moore, and to the outside you have Quency Wiggins. So something I didn't really notice prior, that he's mixing up his defensive line to this extent, right? You got 2 edge rushers next to each other. You got 2 defensive tackles next to each other. But this defensive tackle on the edge, Quency Wiggins, used to be an edge rusher. And for my 335 watchers out there, the Coach Dre's of the world, the Keith Dunstales of the world, I think, Keith, you mentioned 335. I think he's kind of trying to disguise this, not really that well, because Juju can probably recognize personnel here, maybe seen something very similar in practice, but other offensive coordinators and quarterbacks are not going to know, right? And so his hands are not in the ground. He's gonna drop out here in coverage, and maybe this is a version of 3-3-5 trying to get pressure with 3 people. If you guys think this is a reach, please let me know. But let's watch it. Juju reads it, goes to the opposite side, but I think that's more repetition than just a bad play call. Okay. So I want to stop it there. That was more just showing you guys some of the things that are happening with Chris Marve mixing up his defensive line rotation. Now let's get into something that's a little bit of a concern here. And this is Santana Hopper in a short distance situation. And this is him lined up right here. I'm going to just play the tape. Well, let me back it up a little bit. The very next play that's going to be lined up is the play that we're going to watch. We're going to watch it all the way through, and I want you guys to watch Santana Hopper versus Larry Johnson. And you let me know what your concern is. So this is Santana Hopper. That's Larry Johnson. Okay, we'll watch it again. right here. All right, now here's the runner. Now, what my concern on this play is in short distance situations, you want your defensive tackles to be able to take on a block, particularly if it's one-on-one, and you want your defensive tackle to put the tackle, in this case, Larry Johnson, into the running back's lap. But what you'll see is that he gets turned and he gets pushed out of the play. Right now, that's a size issue in my personal opinion. If you're not able to collapse the hole, right, can you really win inside, right? And when you can't win inside, you're going to see the little space that's created, but in short distance situation, space on the inside is dangerous. This is why size matters. And like speed, and you can't coach size, right? It just is what it is. And so that's why it is incumbent upon those other bigger bodies, the Tyler Moores, the Cedric Smiths, the Ezra Christiansens, to be able to play up to their potentials, the Dylan Manuel, right, to really be those guys on the interior that can get a push. So let's watch it one last time here. You want to see him collapse that hole, which he was not able to do there. Okay. All right. We got a fourth clip here. Now, this is a positive one-on-one play by Quency Wiggins. And you love to see it, especially a real team player. We're going to watch it all the way through, and then we're going to slow it down. Him changing positions, coming over from LSU, being with the team now multiple seasons, not hitting the transfer portal. You want to see a guy like that really have his shine this season. That's him on the inside. You'll see him peek inside and make the play on the quarterback. I'm going to slow it down here for you. And we're going to pause it at the beginning. So they're running option here, right, with Michael Welch as the dive man and Isaac Wilson with as the quarterback who has the option to either give the dive or run it himself. You're going to see Q, who's right here, take on his blocker, peek inside, and him and Goldberg are going to take away the dive. As soon as they see that Isaac pulls and is going to run with it, he's able to get rid of his man and make the tackle. It looks like a tackle for loss. But you love to see him be able to do that in one-on-one. Let's watch it. Dislodges, makes the tackle. Let's watch it. Dislodges, makes the tackle. One more time. Good play. Excellent play. All right, now, on the very next play, and this is what I mean by Brennan Marion as a great play caller. Different alignment here with now, I think he still had two running backs, but Michael Welch was to the inside of the previous play, and whoever this is was to the outside. And now they switch positions, and they're going to run the dive, right? And he's going to have a lead blocker to follow on this play. They're going to now call the double team on Q. And I think what Brennan Marion is saying to himself is, okay, you could play one-on-one at tackle, but can you take on a double team and do the same thing? And one of the players in Colorado, recent Colorado history, who did that very well was Chidozie Nwankwo. Chidozie would consistently be doubled and triple teamed, but he was like a tree stump. He would not be moved, and he was a problem in the run game. We'll play this, and you let me know what you see happening to Q here. There's the hole. You'll see the double here. Now, as a tree stump, you want to get really low. Even both these guys trying to block you, they shouldn't be able to, right? Now, I know that's tough. You got a double here. You got a double here. You need one of these guys to be able to hold their block, but they're going to be able to get Q bumped out of the hole. just that little push creates the cutback lane for Micah. And you're not going to arm tackle Micah Welch. So watch the bump. He's out of the hole, and there's the touchdown. Bump him, and there's the touchdown. Man, there are so many things that go into a successful football play. Having an angle like this and just being able to appreciate how well this offensive line is playing together, how well coached they are, and the great play calling by Brennan Marion is so much fun to watch. Bump them out of the way, touchdown. And so it's really hard to find enough clips to do a full breakdown. Of course, they're not showing us the entire practice. Man, maybe these guys are playing lights out, right? And we're just seeing the offensive highlights because they want to show off the potency of the go-go offense. I don't know. But if you want to win inside, you're going to need to be able to take on those double teams. If you can't, then everything opens up for the offense, right? So when you put together just these few clips, what you see is that, yes, there are flashes, there is potential, but there are also real concerns on the interior defensive line. And this matters because Colorado is going to be playing some really, really good teams this season, and games are won and lost in the trenches. So if this interior D-line holds up, this defense takes a big step forward. If not, we're going to be dealing with a lot of the same issues we saw in 2025. So I want to hear from you. Is the defensive line a concern of yours? And do you think we get it fixed before the season? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll catch you in the next one. Until next time, peace.